Oggy, Oggy, Oggy. How are we doing out there? How you feeling, mate?
Yeah, I think I started off the last episode saying I was numb, and now I'm kind of numb and number. I guess you could say. I don't know. Sad times at Manchester United.
A tragic weekend, topping off maybe the worst 2 months post Fergie.
Arguably,
Yeah. We'll get into it anyway. Hello and welcome to everyone that is listening, which is nobody, but a man can dream. This is City United, and we've got a lot of exciting things going on because
we haven't.
Well, maybe.
I'm speaking for myself.
I mean, it was exciting for a bit because everyone was rumouring because there were rumours abound that Zidane was going to be joining United, that it seemed likely. And now it looks a bit aimless, right? But that's pretty exciting.
Well,
I look at that as an exciting thing because at least this will continue for a little bit before you can get any kind of structure in.
Well, there's actually rumours today, isn't there, that Pochettino is ready to quit PSG right frickin' now.
Which seems crazy.
But there's a lot of reliable journalists reporting this. Simon Stone from BBC being one of them. Very reliable when it comes to Manchester United news and transfers. So, yeah, it's cliche, but we'll wait and see on that one. But anyway.
How do you think it'll go for Carrick in the short term? Before we get into the game, I just want to get Ole out of the way and the managerial stuff out of the way. But yeah, how do you feel it'll go for him in the short term? Carrick at the wheel.
I think it'll be the exact same blueprint as Ole, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was
just promoted him, haven't you? Really, from coach to head coach.
I thought if you're getting rid of Solskjaer, then the rest of them are just as culpable.
Yeah.
A
total clear
out, maybe, but obviously I think if you look at the circumstances, there's not much. Who would come in if you got rid of the entire staff?
What's Giggsy up to?
Awaiting his hearing, I think.
Excellent.
Like I said, wonderful player, shitbag human, but that's another one.
What's Frank Lampard up to?
Dodging the Norwich bullet, I believe.
Nice move.
So I actually thought Nicky Butt wouldn't be a bad shout to try and get him back at the club. Honestly, it did wonders with the youth teams. So, but again, that's going on a tangent, really. There were rumors that
clear replacement, is there? I think
there's no clear interim. Which one of the statements United released was there would be an interim in Michael Carrick, who is an interim to an interim, who would then be replaced in the summer. Strange. It kind of sums United up that they don't know what they're doing. And they failed to capitalise maybe on certain managers at certain times. It's just terrible. It's absolutely disarray.
I think it goes back to maybe in the summer that was the cut-off point, and United have been quite slow to react. They've waited until it literally was you can't go further. You can't go back now, because even though the Liverpool and City results to me were so damning, it almost seemed like the club were like, well, we didn't expect to win those games, and top four's still on, so that's fine. Whereas losing to Watford 4-1 in the manner that you did, I think made it untenable. But it should have been a decision in the summer, I think. So anything after that was obviously just waiting, and then you lose the opportunity to get certain managers in.
See, I know you've had that idea that he should have been replaced in the summer. I think that's more of a, say if Abramovich was in charge of United, Ole would have definitely gone after losing the final. There's no doubt about it. And then new management would come in and be backed the Chelsea way, which works. It works for them. But I think with United and Ole, I think there's a lot of sentimentality around Manchester United. There's a lot of nostalgia, which we revel in, which might be well, which has been our downfall, I think. I don't think the board would have thought that it would get this bad. I don't think many people did.
He usually digs himself out, doesn't he? When the going gets tough, Ole usually digs himself out and gets something from somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the signings he's had, you can't say he's not been backed, really. I think
He's absolutely been backed.
Oh yeah, fair enough. We may have a gaping hole in midfield, but that squad should be performing a lot better than what they currently are. Because, Ole gets the flack, but the players, a disgusting, unforgivable performance against Watford, for what I've seen, and the Liverpool game, the City game,
Atalanta, I think as well. That was,
yeah, maybe Champions League. Yeah, I think the fact that group is so tight and we are top as it stands, and we somehow dug our way out of that one, but we can't dig our way out of the Premier League. Was it 5 defeats and 7, I believe?
Are you 8th now?
I think we were 7th.
I think Spurs crept ahead of you.
Possibly. I'm not gonna argue with 7th, right? It's just as terrible.
Level with Brighton.
Well, they've taken off. But anyway, so there's so much you could talk about with United's position at the moment. I get a bit lost. So you're gonna have to censor me quite a bit.
No, that's fair. I think all you want is a bit of optimism, and I suppose when I spoke before the games ahead of this weekend, I kind of thought, right, what Ole needs to do is he just needs to do something a little bit radical, not too radical like Thiago Motta style formation, but do something a bit different, which isn't like him. Play Donny as the box to box player. Don't play McFred. Drop Maguire. Play Bailey with Lindelof. Maybe even drop Shaw for Tellez. Do something a bit different. I know that's not radical as such, but just do something that shows that you're willing to try something different. And
I don't think that's a radical thing for Watford. I agree with you. It's not.
It's not radical. Just do something a little bit different. Put some players in there. Put Sancho on. Play Greenwood through the middle. Don't play Ronnie. Bring him on.
Greenwood had, to be fair to Greenwood, he had COVID, and Sancho did start.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was terrible.
No, Sancho did start. That's fair. But yeah, I just looked at the game and I thought, okay, it's a little bit different. And then Donny came on.
Yeah, he's fantastic. By the counts.
Got the goal. That's fantastic. How fantastic you'd be in a 4-1 defeat, but I get your point.
Just it's hard to apply yourself with everything that's gone on with him and his time.
Absolutely, I have no criticism on Donny van der Beek. I like the guy, but to move it back to Carrick and what then I think a bit of optimism for United is Carrick needs to do something with that midfield more than anything. But absolutely, Maguire, that guy needs to be out of the starting lineup. Luke Shaw probably as well for a couple of games. And just show that he's willing to be brave to make decisions in dropping players. I think, I'm not saying that would have resolved all his issues, but one of the big things that I think was talked about in terms of being a real positive for Ole was that he had his guys and he stuck by them even when they weren't playing so well, and then they reacted and played well for him. And that's one of the things that dug him out regularly early on in his first 2 years. But that reluctance to only really trust 13 or 14, I think started to come undone when you invest in Sancho, Donny van der Beek. Bailey barely got a look in. And Dalot barely played. I know he wasn't obviously going to play that much given what he spent on Wan-Bissaka, but barely played.
He was atrocious. He was atrocious.
Then coach him not to be. Look at kids like Ben Johnson. Is it Ben Johnson? I'm sure it's Benjamin Johnson or something like that.
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. He's really athletic and now is playing really, really well, but he's just properly coached. And that's, I think, the key difference. You've got Dalot is not a player that can't be functional and give you a little bit every now and then. It's not going to be great. His trajectory isn't that high, but he can be functional for you. And the problem with a lot of the United players is, even the really good ones, they fail to be functional when they need to be. Maguire is a way better defender than he's playing at the moment. I don't think he's top class, but he's way better than he's currently playing at. Same for Shaw. Same for all of them. Every single one to a man. Maybe Ronaldo is the one that's still doing his thing, but even he's had a bit of a drought, hasn't he?
For him, yeah.
For him, yeah. For the standard that he sets, that's what I mean. Like, if you're measuring Ronaldo to the standards of everyone else, then no, it's not. He's fine. He's absolutely fine. But you look at players like Bruno, McFred, or Sancho. Not barely had a chance, but it's something different. Just do something different, and I think that at least some optimism will come into the side. And look, the Chelsea game, that just needs to go, because I think you'll get smashed in that one, to be honest, because Chelsea are so well drilled. They're so good. This Toffees team.
Yeah, I watched him against Leicester.
Yes.
Oh no, I did think Leicester were very poor. I think, especially first half, only because they bypassed that two-man midfield. I think it's Samari and Ndidi. I thought them two were terrible. They bypassed them so easily. It's just like it was one pass through the midfield, and it was to the forwards, and they were advancing to the box. And it was just easy for Chelsea. But at the same time, yeah, an exceptional team this season. And that, I worried, because that's our weakness. Never mind Leicester's. And I don't think Rodgers did himself any favours if he isn't running for the United job.
I think that did you a favour, though, because I don't think Rodgers is the right man for you. And I think that when you play Chelsea, you'll definitely have three in the midfield. You'll have more men in that area. That was Leicester's issue. It was just two men.
Yeah,
and
that's what they did.
Constantly bypassed.
They put more players in the middle. And they got, I think putting in Iheanacho on, they got a bit further up the pitch, a bit further up the wings as well. So I think it kind of, stopped the tide a bit.
I think it was a bit of a misnomer, though, when they started to get into it, because then Chelsea had more space to attack, and there was a point in that game when I think there was 4 offsides, 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think it was 3. I think it was 3, because I was like, this game could literally be 6 now.
It could literally, yeah. And so, yes, Leicester were creating a bit more, but they still had gaping holes. All they did was they were playing a bit higher up with a bit more intensity, but they still didn't have a strong structure. And their press is so poor. Leicester, last 2 seasons were fantastic. Great energy, really strong on the counter attack, goals in, like, Vardy pretty much scoring every other game, and then other players contributing, like Tielemans, who has had a good couple of games before this one. He didn't play, obviously, but
I think they really missed him.
Really missed him in the middle of that. I think he's a massive loss when he's not in there. But you shouldn't just lose Tielemans and then your midfield is just bypassed. Like, that's really, really poor. I thought Rodgers kind of had a bit of a stinker there in his setup. So it ended up just being really another day at the office, didn't it, for Chelsea? Just routine, 3-0, 3 points, maintain their place atop the table.
Indeed.
Did you watch the Liverpool-Arsenal game? Cover that. That was a 5:30 kickoff, wasn't it?
I didn't. I was preoccupied at that time, but I've only seen. I'd say I've only seen the touchline buster for Cityzens and Klopp, and that's the only thing I've seen. I haven't seen the goals.
I mean, I don't think I didn't see the first half, so I only watched the second half. But I didn't think there was much, to be fair, about that incident. Just a couple of managers going at it. Klopp does tend to rile people up, it seems. That's fine.
Yeah, thought Arteta gave as good as he got.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hold me back.
20 times. Yeah, hold me back immediately. Hold me back.
Hold me back.
But I thought in the second half, for as good as from what I've read, Arsenal played really well in the first 30 minutes, or at least were comfortable in their structure. Liverpool still had more of the ball, but Arsenal were comfortable in the game. Kind of did to Liverpool what West Ham did to Liverpool. But in the second half, when Liverpool turned it on and Salah was absolutely desperate for a goal, he was just fighting for everything. I thought he was really good. Not at the level he's been in recent weeks, but he's not going to do that every week. He's been the best player on the planet this season, I think. But Mane then stepped up, and Jota's goal. Have you seen Jota's goal?
No, I haven't seen that, mate.
Oh, you need to watch it. I can't remember which defender it is that he sits down, but he kind of cuts back, sits him down, shimmies and fakes as if he's going to go. So then Ramsdale drops and then just slots it. Oh, it's such a good goal. He's so good. He's kind of the signing they needed last year. Do you know, for their attack, because their attack really struggled. I know they had all the defensive issues and therefore midfield issues, but he's so good. And just I said it before, but the way that Liverpool are coached, like they just play all these little passes and they always know where the other player is. They just play passes like so quickly without even. It doesn't even look like they've looked at the man, and they just play the pass and there's a man, play another pass and there's Jota, boom to Salah. Salah's running at you. And
yeah, I suppose it's testament to Klopp, isn't it? That every player knows exactly where the other one is. I think Henderson's the best at it.
Oh, he's fantastic at it. Absolutely brilliant.
And then the front three are just synergy, absolute pure synergy.
Yeah, 100%. That's
I was shocked the scoreline was that big. I thought Arsenal, they've done 10 games unbeaten. I think I had 2-1. But it didn't shock me really 4-0. But
I think if you look at how Arsenal are against the big teams, the reason Arsenal are so susceptible to these beatings is because they don't play with that low block, really. They don't want to sit in and they don't want to be really structured and difficult to beat. Even if they do that for the first half, eventually they will want to try to get at you. They will want to do that. When you've got Emile Smith-Rowe, Saka, Lacazette and Aubameyang on the pitch and a half-fit Thomas Partey, then they're going to want to get up there and they're not going to be able to withstand Liverpool playing, let's say, 70%. They're not going to be able to withstand that. They're not good enough. And you saw it against City. That's why they got torn apart. And you've seen it against Liverpool. And the teams that are in that 5th to 9th position, the teams that want to play football, the teams that want to, try to embrace their style. Brighton, West Ham do it. To be fair, I imagine will start to do it. Arsenal do it. Spurs want to do it. They want to try to play. Those teams, if they're not careful and they're not really well structured at the back, will get smashed this season by Liverpool and City and probably Chelsea. But Chelsea are a bit more functional than City and then Chelsea, then Liverpool. Sorry, who Liverpool are probably the most aggressive in terms of we want to get 4 or 5 and keep going.
Yeah.
So I think Arsenal can kind of look at that result and go, well, we tried to play. Liverpool are a lot better than us. This happens. It doesn't undo all the good work we've done in the previous 10 games.
No, it's a bit of a free hit for them, isn't it?
In a way, yeah. You just get to see where your level is and you learn.
Yeah.
Not in the top 4. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. I'm sure. I think I want to caveat it because I don't want to go full Arsenal agenda. Just want to say that I think what Mikel Arteta has done overall this season is really good. There's some exciting players there. Don't rate Saka. I just don't know what it is. I don't really rate him, but Emile Smith-Rowe, Aubameyang's been really good in the last couple of months. Like I said, it's been really good. Odegaard, I want him to do well. I really want him to do well. And defensively, they're a lot stronger than they were against other teams. Clearly not against Liverpool.
Yeah, who's the defender they signed? So was it Tomiyasu?
Oh, Tom,
Tomiyasu.
yeah.
He seems to have slotted right in.
Yeah, he's great.
It seems alright.
Usually, not in that game. But
no, not
yeah, it's a tough game.
Yeah, well, you get it. But
absolutely.
I'll have to check out the highlights. I'll have to check out the highlights. No, I know.
I thought you were going to load it up.
No, do you want to get sued? I'd put it on mute.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Copyright reasons. We'll just describe the goals to you. So I think
do you want to,
all that leaves is another complete performance from City this season. It feels like last season, but earlier and better. I think about a month ago, I was like, oh no, I'm a bit worried because Laporte is susceptible. Walker and Cancelo can sometimes be caught out by lesser teams that have really fast, tricky wingers. And I thought that we had issues where we were creating like 15, 16, 17 chances in a game and only winning 1-0 or drawing or whatever. Or all the chances we created against Palace, etc., etc. Or the PSG game, where we just were so attacking and just couldn't create anything and be clinical in the right areas. So to see us now at this level of control, because it's not just a one game. I mean, I think this and the United game, and okay, can I fully say the United game in a way because of the place you guys are in? It's hard to just see that in a way as like, oh, look how good we are. This is the measuring stick. But I think against Everton, against a team that Rafa usually has his defence really well coached, so those are the teams that we not necessarily struggle to beat, but we really struggle to break them down, and we always end up susceptible to a counter attack or something. I didn't think they were particularly good in the game. Maybe there's a couple of individual performances that were okay.
I honestly thought Demarai Gray was the best player, and he went off after like 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I agree. And who came on in Warby?
It will be. I think he had, just to fast forward a bit, but I think he actually got in front of Walker on the left-hand side.
Absolutely.
That's
the moment I was going to say.
And then he realised, even commentator said it, he realised, oh, it's Kyle Walker. And then he switched off.
He just turned around.
And Walker's like, yeah, I'm back.
He's literally, you can't get rid of him. He beat him. He beat Walker and was ahead of him in the box. And then something just clicked and he was like, oh, that geezer's about to come flying back. So I'll turn away. Yeah, I thought Everton were kind of poor. But just what we did to them, I thought was honestly fantastic. Every single time, especially in the first half, every time they thought they got something and they went anywhere near the semicircle, Roger is like, nah, mine, and just takes it and just plays it on. I thought Bernardo Silva was fantastic in that role again. Obviously, João Cancelo was brilliant. The assist is... The commentator said, or the pundit in the halftime, I can't remember, said that it is the pass of the season. I think it was Robbie Keane who said it. I've seen a couple of really good ones. That Salah one was ridiculous. If you remember it, just curls it. I want to say to Bobby, but no, to Mane. Sorry. After when Mane was on a bit of a dry spell, that to me is still better. But which I hate to say, but you know, this assist is absolutely fantastic. And then the Rodri goal is just... I think it was nice that he got that after such a dominant midfield performance, just killing everything, sweeping it up, passing it on, and then to just stride onto that and hit it like that. Oh. It was really, really fun. Really fun game to watch. In terms of building my excitement now for how we can do this season, because some of the run-ins from here, I'll go over that after. But there's a couple of games where you really need confidence going into them because you can slip up in them, especially in this period where you play like ridiculous amount of games in like 4 weeks, whatever. But
yeah,
on the game, my final thoughts would be that I think we finally arrived at the level where we can go on a really, really good run. And even though we still don't have anything set in the attacking line, we look so comfortable in, not necessarily in defence, because when teams can get us, teams can absolutely get at us, but in making sure that that doesn't happen, the positions we pick up and the way we choke teams, it just stops them being able to even get to that position. You know, we isolate players out of games. It's yeah, really good to see, because I think Chelsea and Liverpool are going to really kick on as well. Exciting times. And Sterling got a goal.
Yeah, I was surprised at that. I thought he didn't aim for that corner. I thought he spooned that, but
He absolutely sliced it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had to score that. It's one of those.
Should have scored the other one as well.
Oh God, yeah, it's dawdling. Why is he dawdling?
Honestly, that's what he does. That's what Sterling does.
Yeah, no, you were great. Like it's a joy, and it's also depressing as hell to watch you guys. So I'm like, oh, no.
I imagine it's easier because you're not challenging this season.
I don't know. I don't have a burning hatred of you guys, I guess. It makes it easier. But
I imagine, do you know, like the 2011-12 season,
yeah,
being so close, and that because for me the 2012-13 season is the exact opposite of that. Not that it was as close, but it just felt like we got to a point where it was like, oh my God, we've got this really good team that can just batter people and is really strong, and we've gone on and won this. We've got FA Cup and now we've got Premier League. And then obviously you sign Van Persie, and that season was just really tough, especially the Nasri. Fucking...
You haven't forgiven him yet.
Honestly, no, I don't forget. No, because Nasri was so poor for us. Like, he should have been not as good as David Silva, but as
At least
good
Bernardo's
as. No. Bernardo's better because Bernardo works so much harder.
I think Bernardo's. It's weird. I think Bernardo's gone up a level. He's like, oh, I want to leave, but before I do.
I think he's better. I think this is the best he's been playing his entire time at City. When he played that final season at Monaco, very different role because he was playing right wing. He was just so effective and just glided past people and playing really good balls and just a constant threat. He's had moments of that at his time at City, but now it's like he's everywhere in every game.
Yeah, I think there was the first half, which way you were shooting to the left on the first half, yeah.
Maybe.
I'm sure you were. It doesn't matter. But either way, it was one of those where the defender, he's just going to touch it forward, and he did. And so he bypassed one defender, just knocked it forward, kept going. Second defender goes in for a bite. I was like, he's just going to fucking touch it forward. Did the exact same trick. Boom, he's gone. And I was like, fuck's sake. He's literally, it's like, I know it's outrageous to say this, but I've said it to you before. I sort of don't really care, but I do see Messi parallels with him. Yeah. Like a lot of his ball control is absolutely fantastic. I think it's better than Mahrez. Mahrez is fantastic, but Bernardo.
Bernardo moving with the ball is better than Mahrez moving with the ball, but I think Mahrez has the better first touch.
I also think Mahrez maybe, say if Mahrez is static with the ball, I think he's better. I think he'd take the piss. Say if you were a five-a-side football match. Oh God, who do you pick, Mahrez or Bernardo?
I don't know. I don't know actually. It's hard to five-a-side. Bernardo's just running around you everywhere. Jesus Christ, you don't need that in your life. He's worse than Messi in a way in a five-a-side because Messi will just obviously embarrass you. But Bernardo, you won't even get chance because against Messi, Messi's not coming flying at you all the time. He's just going to wait until you fuck up and take it off you and then do you. Bernardo is just going to be coming at you, kicking you, taking a ball, embarrassing you, running by you again, coming back. Yeah, he's not that he does that in a football game, but I mean in a five-a-side against us, he absolutely would. But he is what I wish Mahrez was in many ways now, because Mahrez has been good this season, and I think he's our top scorer, to be fair, so I can't disrespect the guy. But I feel like there is more to Mahrez. And I feel like maybe it's because of the fairy tale story around him in that season at Leicester. But that was peak Mahrez to me. And even though he's probably scored more goals at City in a season, he gets more chances. But just for magic, the way he played in that Leicester side was fantastic.
Yeah.
And like the way Bernardo plays now, I just look at Bernardo and I think this is top level. This is top gear Bernardo. I love it.
Yeah, I get what you say about Mahrez, because he was like one of the big four, wasn't he? I think it was Drinkwater, Mahrez, Kante, Vardy. And, you know, did Mahrez stay there 2 years longer than everyone else? I think he did. Oh, you know, apart from Vardy, obviously. I think Kante moved on. Drinkwater moved on. Who's the other one? It's just Mahrez, isn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just the three. Because Drinkwater
maybe
doesn't count, really.
Yeah, maybe he's just one of those players who likes to be the main man, but maybe that's a bit dated to think. But
I think he's changed that.
Yeah, I think he just got a glorious squad. I don't think anyone would have seen Bernardo stepping up like he has, especially after wanting to leave publicly as well. Strange one. I think he just blessed, really, with Bernardo this season.
To be fair, I think when they said they wanted to leave, I don't think it was like, oh, we're so unhappy here, it's ridiculous, you know, we want to fucking get out of here. Clearly, because they've all stayed and no one has performed. None of the players that, you know, were rumoured to leave and the ones confirmed, but none of them have played poorly at all. Some of them have been the best players we've had all season, to be fair. Like, Jesus, fantastic. I think his new right wing role, absolutely brilliant. I think he was rumoured to leave. Don't know that he actually wanted to or not, but I think Sterling, when he's played, has been really good. You always get, I think, well, you always get the mistakes with Sterling. That's what you get. But in terms of effort, you know, there's not like, oh, I don't want to be here, even though he said he wants to go to Barca. Like, he just still plays. So I think it's just a case of, God, there's so many top players. You just want to play every week, and you can't play every week in the City side unless you're really, really on it all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, blessed, really, I suppose. I enjoy it as long as I can. And look, may Pep stay forever. Because why would he leave? Why would he leave but to retire and go manage Spain?
I think someone said in commentary if the UK had Spanish weather, he'd sign a time contract.
Yeah, if we could teleport the sun here. Yeah.
It's not that. But
yeah, maybe. Speaking of the commentary, I bet you can't. Speaking of the commentary,
fuck off on me.
What's your beef, man?
Don't
you enjoy the beauty? Beauty that he brings to the game. The beauty that he brings to the game.
Football.
Everyone in the league gets better when there are elite coaches in the league. Klopp, Pep, Tuchel raise the level of every other manager because they have to. Unless you're Sean Dyche, in which case you don't change level. You just stay the same.
It's just straight in the middle lane. No diversion.
In the middle, they're on, I mean, that's going to take them. That's going to take them on the road to nowhere because it's looking really poor for Burnley. I don't want to discuss Burnley because 3-3 and that Cornet finish make them look like they're on the ascendancy. But honestly, Burnley is so porous. Just car through those guys.
Which is weird to say. I wouldn't have said that at Burnley.
No, you wouldn't. That's their shit. That's what they should be good at, and yet they're not.
No, I'm just. We've got the best league in the world. I do love it. I also hate it at the moment. So, yeah.
But your
cruel
will come again. This too shall pass, and the sun will shine on us again, brother. I believe it. I believe it to be so. It's just sometimes you got to suffer the rough with the smooth, haven't you? You've had a lot of rough.
Anyway.
Anything
else?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean, anything else?
Much, you know.
I just want to know what you thought to Cole Palmer. I just want to know what you thought to Cole Palmer and James McAtee.
I mean, McAtee didn't play it very long, did he?
No, but you saw him like doing some business in the box.
Yeah, it's a laugh what Gary Neville said. Just David Silva clones. I was like, fucking hell. Cole Palmer, he's just that. I think he had one of those games where you're like, fuck hell, you're a bit try-hard, lad. Calm down. But he had a good game.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Hard.
I know what you mean.
I think, and to be fair, there were periods of his game where he kept it simple, just advanced the ball, played the correct pass, made the correct decision. And then, he was unlucky. I think he took a swing at it in the first half, just narrowly missed it. I think he had another in the second, actually. I think he was laughing about
Bernardo buried.
Which, yeah. He should have passed it. Or he maybe done better with it.
He definitely should have passed it, but it ended up going in, so no criticism there.
So what is he, 19? I don't know, 20?
He's 19. Don't be putting years on him.
But, it could... Look, he had a good game. He's just maybe a diamond in the rough. I don't think he might be a good player for you. I don't think he's anywhere near Foden. I'm sure you say at 19, Foden is better than him.
Yes.
It depends what the plan is for him. Where does he play predominantly?
I mean, at the moment he's playing false 9, but I think Cole Palmer's long-term position is CM.
Okay. I
think. I might be wrong. He plays really attacking now, but I just look at him and I think Pep, when Foden was first coming through and actually getting games, he played a lot on the left and the right, and he still plays on the left, to be fair, but now drifts more centrally. He's allowed to come a lot more centrally now. But when he first started, he was always on the left because Pep had this concern that young players, when they're in the middle and they're surrounded by people, they have the tendency to just not do the right thing. Like, I'm going to dribble at these guys. What you want is these young players to have time and space to just kind of get involved. So it's interesting that Palmer's trusted as the false 9. I think that's really big responsibility when you could easily have played Foden in that role. He's done it plenty of times. Don't know if Jesus was available, but Mahrez has played in that role. Sterling's played in that role, but he trusted Palmer to do it again. So I think that's a big sign that he trusts him to do kind of a lot of the pressing. I thought his pressing was a little bit off in some parts of the game, but maybe that's because, like you say, he would just try hard in other areas. So he was trying not to overcommit and just overthinking his game. Whereas Foden, for example, you just see him hunting players down constantly. I don't know. It's hard to say with Cole, but it's too early to say because I haven't seen enough of him. But I've seen him in the under-21s and he's great. But so are a lot of players that have come through and not made it. There's a lot of defenders I've seen come through and none of them have made it.
Yeah, I worry when you say CM as well. That's a really big responsibility if he's going to play there long term. He's going to have to really kick on for that, I assume.
That's a long pause. Yeah, I thought you were going to say it's more. So I took a bite of my burger, thinking, "Oh yeah, he's going to talk a little bit here." Mute. Took a bite of my burger, and then you just stopped. CM's a massive responsibility, but I just look at him and see someone a little bit more, deeper than the role he currently plays. But time will tell. I liked my namesake. James McAtee. I liked him. I thought he was lively. And actually, it's the first time I've been aware of watching him. I'm probably have seen him because I do like if there's a game on, I'm not doing anything. I will watch the youth games, but I don't normally. I just have it on rather than kind of like study it. So I don't remember watching him before, but I liked his touches. Thought he was brave. That's the main thing I'm looking for, really, in a player. Who wants to get the ball and wants to have a go. Everything else will come in time. You know, I've learned. I mean, if we didn't already know with the way that Pep built his Barcelona team, we know now that if you are patient, you will be a better player because of it. If you're a young player, at any age, I think he's improved every single level of every player at the club. And his time there, can't think of anyone that's level has dropped that's still there. So yeah, trust the process.
I had one name, but he's in jail.
He doesn't exist.
Yeah, hasn't helped himself really, has he? Yeah. So yeah, fantastically played. Yeah, like I said, I told you before this podcast. I shouted so loud at that Rodri goal that I woke my girlfriend up from a hangover slumber.
Worthwhile, because it was a hell of a hit.
I did say watch this and go back to sleep. Sweet dreams, Jesus.
Good night, Vienna.
Yeah. But I will say, just about Everton, like you said, very similar to what you did against United. Absolutely choked us out of possession. I think I said about United that I doubt we had possession for longer than maybe 10 seconds, maybe restricted to like 5 passes, something stupid. I do not rate Richarlison whatsoever.
No, it's terrible.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin's a big miss for them.
Yeah, I rate Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, really big. I don't rate his fashion sense, but he is a good footballer. Miles ahead of Streets ahead of Richarlison. I just think he's one of those. He should have gone to Barca when he had the chance. Would have failed there, no doubt. But
he's probably better than De Jong.
I think De Jong doesn't say about that. God, no. Honestly. Were they missing Yerry Mina? Can't stand that guy. But...
Oh, I hate that guy. Hate him for his just attitude in the Colombia game.
Oh, terrible. Oh, they were all weren't they?
Yeah,
honestly,
disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. Messi showed him off in the Copa America.
Yeah. That last year?
No, it was this year, wasn't it?
Was it this year?
We'll say last tournament. I'm sure it was this year.
Maybe.
Because it went to pen.
No, it was. Wait. I'm sure it was. I can't remember. No, I can't remember. I'm not vested or anything, but yeah, because Messi won that and. Oh, that's it, innit? Just won that. Didn't win anything else. Did they win the league? Surely not. Madrid won the league, right? Atletico.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I think they were missing maybe a few players, but still, I thought
they're shit.
There's a lot of players that would. Yeah, I mean, was it Tommy Doyle? I think he maybe had. But there's not much I can say about Everton. The more I think about it, more like no, they were just.
You're bringing up Tommy Doyle.
Tommy Doyle. Whoever they had the right on the right. No, Everton. Oh no, Anthony Gordon. Sorry, mate. Sorry, it's just like Tommy Doyle.
Put some respect on Tommy Doyle's name.
It's just when I'm looking for when we're looking for a sub forward in FIFA, and I see that 59 rated guy, Tommy Doyle. I think, fuck off. But yeah, Anthony Gordon. I think there was no chance. And like you said, Rafa's usually quite tactically astute. And
Anthony Gordon is just Jeff Hendricks in a different position on the pitch. All he is, just that. George Boyd. He's a Burnley midfielder in disguise. Chris
George
McCann.
Boyd. Oh my God.
Chris McCann. Whatever you want.
Forgot about George Boyd.
Did you forget about George Boyd? How do you forget about that guy? He's at Salford,
Yeah.
I think, now.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure he is, yeah. He was last
Jeez.
season, anyway.
Not even the best
Boyd.
Boyd.
Midfield against. Who was he playing midfield alongside? Was it Wiley? I think it's Wiley plays there. Wiles. Chris Wiles, maybe?
But yeah. Well played.
So, only thing left to say is, do you fancy your chances in the Champions League midweek? Who have you got?
Further out tomorrow, 5 o'clock. I'm absolutely fuming. I'm gonna say
5 o'clock.
I'm leaving early, and I'm gonna drive like the wind.
5 o'clock. Wow.
Drive like the wind to see Carrick at the wheel. But I'm not.
No, it's 6 o'clock.
Oh, is it 6 o'clock? I'm still driving like the wind.
Quarter to 6.
That's why my boss doesn't listen to this podcast, because I'm leaving early.
Definitely not.
No, he's definitely not. He hates football. Anyway, so no, I'm not feeling great about it, James. Which is the answer to your question.
No, don't blame
I'd
be concerned.
Cause it's one of those, isn't it? It's like, well, they're going to be. Carrick doesn't have the acumen to kind of go head to head with
a proper coach.
Emery. Yeah, I mean,
no, he doesn't.
And then at the same time, if the players kind of do, like I said in the Spurs game, put on a much better performance and a much more professional performance, it's like, well, you've completely thrown it away under the wheel, because where's this been? You know what I mean? If we somehow magic a 3-0 victory, it'll be like honestly, I don't think it's a win-win situation.
3-0 victory. Wow.
I don't think there's any kind of result or predicament where it kind of quells the United fans' anger at this moment.
I know what you mean. There's a negative narrative to be taken no matter how it goes. And I think you saw that with the Ole exit interview. I actually thought it was fine. Like, yeah, it's funny as an opposition fan, because I'm like, okay, he's talking about all his friends, oh, isn't he cute? But in terms of, like, if you're a Man United fan and you're a fan of Ole and what he's done for the club, I thought it was nice. But I think he's
actually.
Sorry, I'll continue.
No, just saying, I think he's actually endeared himself to the club more now than he did as a player. I know, obviously, he massive.
You mean to the fans?
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, that goal is obviously the biggest goal in our history. It is. There's no doubt about it. But if you, it's weird, isn't it? Because if you get sense melter, it's potential banana skin. But like you said, he took that job. There's no way he was going to turn that down. I think if you kind of look back now, where the club is, it's in a much better position than it was when Mourinho left. It's also a better squad. I think it is set up a lot better for whoever comes in. I think he was successful in a way of where we are now, or where the position of the club now. Obviously not in the league table, but yeah, he just hit the ceiling, didn't he? There was literally nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
it's shocking in a way how quickly that's come about. I don't think anyone kind of expected it to deteriorate so quickly. It's a shame. I'm gutted. I think most United fans are absolutely gutted that he couldn't do it. I think, like you said, the Europa League final was a big indicator of that. I am gutted in that way, but I do have a hell of a lot of respect for him. I completely wish him all the best.
He won't get a Premier League job, though.
No, I think someone said, this might have been Neville on the Gary Neville podcast. I'm sure he said, you might find him managing Norway in a year or two. And I was like, maybe, but
that'd be. He's not a proper coach.
It's strange, isn't it? Because he's only managed really Cardiff and Mulder, and Man United.
And as he said, every time he's left a club, they've gone on to do better. As he said in that interview. So
Yeah, it's a strange one. I wish him all the best, but
I have
you
no
know,
ill will towards Ollie. I have no ill will towards the guy.
I'd even accept him in a director of football position. Honestly, I'd put him upstairs.
Jesus.
But
he can be an ambassador for the club, but
because
he can't have any. He's not the man to do anything that affects the results on the pitch or the team. He shouldn't be involved in any of that at all.
I feel bad. I'd put him upstairs somewhere, but
in the attic.
Nice and comfy. Nice and comfy.
In the attic.
In the attic.
Yeah, to go dusty and to be forgotten about.
He'll never be forgotten about. But,
no, because he literally saved you when everything was super toxic. Ollie came in and restored good feeling, and I think that is worth probably more than that one goal. And I'm not saying he was only scored, you know, I know he was always involved, but what he did kind of come in and just, it was so toxic when Mourinho left. I just remember, I think people, it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget just how bad it was under Mourinho. And he's calling out players in interviews. He's criticising Luke Shaw openly. He's having bust-ups to Pogba. It was not good in any way, shape or form. And Ollie kind of came in and at no point really has anyone, you know, kind of had a meltdown around him. The good vibes are back. So for that, Ollie's done a good job, but he was never going to be tactically astute enough to do anything more than that.
Yeah, like I said, I think
it's just the level of the person. It's just what it is. That's not, you know, and that's not the biggest knock to Ollie. That's just what it is. So I think he can go out with his head held high, but it was getting close to being like, it's getting really bad. The board made it worse for him than what he's done. Like he just stayed.
100%. They left him high and dry. Like he should have gone after the Liverpool result, really. You know, and even then after the City result, because like you said, the board might have thought, fine, well, don't expect them. You know, the form's been awful, and we're going to probably get pounded by these two. And then, yeah, you know, that international break that we just had, you know, you've got 2 weeks there to kind of get your shit together. You know, you can do all that kind of media and exit interview stuff then. And then also you have like maybe a week or two to plan ahead, go and get your manager, go get Poch if you need to, whatever, whoever. But clearly, like I said, they don't have a clue. Don't have a clue. It's disgraceful.
See, I think a stronger board would have got rid of him after the Villarreal result.
Yeah, like I said, if you had like an Abramovich in charge,
but
there's
even
no way
not,
it would have lasted.
Not necessarily that, because I don't. If you're to look at it from a business standpoint, and I know that football is different, and that people there's a lot of loyalty even when it's not necessarily the right decision. If you look at any business and you say, right, we've now acquired better assets, we're in a better position, we've put all this money into it. You don't then keep your manager that did a good job for you with lesser assets when you look at the manager and think, okay, has this guy got the tools to do the job? Maybe, because you don't know. Ollie did all right, you know, to get second, but no one was anywhere near as competitive as this season. They were coming into this season as fourth most likely. Even with an elite coach, I think you'd be fourth most likely because Liverpool done it more recently. Chelsea won the Champions League and City are City. So even with a top class coach, you're still looking at fourth most likely. It's a lot closer, but still fourth most likely. So if I'm the board in the summer, I'm thinking, all right, Chelsea looking really strong. Tuchel's here. He's doing really well. Klopp, Liverpool have got everyone back. They're going to do really well. Look at, you know, City will be City. City will be there or thereabouts. We need to find that final piece. And if it wasn't, you know, a DM was one of them and a manager was the other. You resolved your right wing issue. You brought Ronaldo in, massive. You brought Varane in, massive. Luke Shaw and Maguire have had a really good summer, so you're thinking, great, you know, they've had a really good summer. That's going to help. Ronaldo's here, Sancho's here. Like, you're looking at a lot of positivity at the start of the summer, aren't you? Really, there was a lot of positivity. Why would you proceed into the season with a manager that everybody knows is never going to be an elite coach, and that if he does well, it's a maybe. It's a, oh, thank God he's done well there. We didn't expect it. When Pep, Klopp, and Tuchel do well, it's just like they're doing a really good job because that's what you expect. That's not what you get from Ole. And that, I don't mean that as negative at Ole as it sounds. I mean it at the board. That's when you make your decision.
I know what you mean, but those three you just mentioned, like Ronnie, Sancho, and Varane, they were Ole's signings. So
They weren't
obviously
Ole's
clearly they definitely were, mate.
Ronaldo wasn't Ole's sign. Ronaldo, you had to sign. That was an Ed Woodward signing. That was an Ed Woodward signing.
Still, we've been chasing Sancho for the past 2 years.
Yep. If it was an Ole signing, why didn't he know what to do with him?
Yeah, no, yeah, God knows. I don't know, mate.
How is he an Ole signing if he doesn't play?
He is. Oh, trust me.
But from what? From what? At what point did Ole do anything with him? If Ole's been chasing this guy for 2 years or whatever, surely he'll have an idea of how he wants to play him.
You'd think he'd go straight into starting 11, right midfield. I think maybe Ronaldo coming in, hampered, Mason going straight up top. Obviously, Rashford's injured for a couple of months, but you don't know. It's just one of those. And going back to your point with, and I suppose you'll say it's like the quality of the manager, but Klopp didn't win anything with Liverpool 4 years. I don't think. Was this 4th season you won Champions League?
I mean, they did get to a Champions League final the year before and addressed the very specific issues they had, and then won the Champions League, and then won the title. And so I think that giving Klopp time, look, Klopp has more credit in the bank because of what he did at Dortmund. So whether that's fair or not, if that's not fair, that's not fair. But he just does have that. And I think what he also has that Ole has is he's the right fit as a Liverpool manager. Like, his crazy energy is a perfect fit for the side and the club. Just like I think Ole as a person is a perfect fit. I think that's why he got so much time, because he as a guy, as a personality, it's fine. Exactly what you want. Same for it's different with Pep and City, because we've kind of built a club ready for Pep to come. So it's not like Pep's come and he kind of just matches the way that we are naturally. We've kind of built a club specifically to have Pep. Chelsea are different again, because Chelsea don't have an identity in terms of what they want with the manager. Winners, which, they've done really well by that philosophy. So who are we to criticise anything they're doing there? Although they do usually have the season after the success is usually quite poor, isn't it?
Yeah, weirdly.
They usually have like a season where they nearly get there, and then that's probably because Tuchel's going to have a really good year. So from when he joined to 2022, whatever time that was, I can't remember. Was it like March, February? I don't know. Whenever he joined, we'll see. After he's been there a year, because they've done really well in this year. So we'll see what happens. I think they'll be fine, but it's still a question mark. But I think we can call time. All I'll say is that I think that we're going to smash PSG.
Yeah.
Just to say, I think we're going to smash PSG.
It'd be like Ed Woodward would be like that bloody Homer Simpson meme or GIF where he's got the contract with Poch's name on it and just slides back into the bushes. PSG get hammered.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I'll definitely be watching.
You will have us to thank for 2 things. For getting rid of Ole, right? And then secondly, forcing Poch to leave PSG. If that happens, you're welcome.
Crazy.
I mean, it's the only way that this works out well for you this season. I don't see any other manager that can just pop up.
Honestly, football dominoes does exist. It's crazy how it works.
Who's available? Who's available? It's so tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Zidane will go to PSG.
Well, that makes so much sense. That it's like PSG might be like, go on, Poch, fuck off. Do you fancy that United job? Looks all right, doesn't it, Poch? Well, we'll fly you over if you want to go have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he looks most likely. I still like the look of Erik ten Hag, I must say.
Yeah,
just because my Ajax looks so good.
Never.
I think he'd definitely wait till the summer. But if Poch is here now, I think Fergie's a big fan of Poch. I think United always have been.
I don't think Ten Hag goes anywhere. I think he stays forever.
Yeah, like I said, there's very limited options at the moment. But
what's Louis van Gaal up to?
Drinking red wine in his Portuguese bloody villa, probably.
Nice.
I'm not sure, to be fair. I'm not sure what he does. Yeah, Jose's busy.
What's he up to? Still having meltdowns in Rome?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's not lasted long there. Oh, I'm just going to have a quick look because BBC have posted your mate Simon Stone.
Why?
He's posted something.
What's he posted?
Let's have a look. I'm just reading. It's just reading because they flesh out the articles, don't they, man? They don't just give you the info; they flesh it out. Some bullshit about interim manager and Carrick and a strategy. Only really so older managers possibly not seeking a permanent job are likely to find this scenario attractive. Steve Bruce has been mentioned.
Yeah, so I thought it was April Fools.
Laurent Blanc, Ralph Ragnick. They've already got jobs though. Because Blanc is in Qatar.
Yes.
Lucien Favre has been out of work since being sacked by Borussia Dortmund. Is that the man though? Got linked with Palace in the summer, didn't he? I don't know if that's really pedigree. And would United want Poch? Who else in the frame? Brendan.
Wenger.
No. Get Wenger. Oh my God! Imagine. Yeah, just the ones we've really discussed, to be honest. They called it shambolic. We're talking about Manchester United here. Classic Micah. I'd call that bursting onto the scene. Love him. Anyway, yeah, I think that's all there is to say. Messi's going to be caught out to be a fraud. Oh no! One final thing before we go. The European Golden Boy was decided today.
Was it Pedri?
Pedri won, yeah, and obviously the Ballon d'Or's coming up. I just wondered who you fancied for it.
Ooh, that's a tough one, isn't it? I'd like to see Louis win one, and Lewandowski win one before he goes. But
I think it depends on whether they judge it over the last year or the last 2 years because they didn't have one before. I think if it's 2 years, it's got to be Louis. If it's the last year, I think it's Messi. Because everyone loves Messi. It's Messi. Won a Copa America, and just plays sick constantly. You know, the only other people in conversation really are like Jorginho, Kante, which I know Jorginho won the Champions League. I know, and he was very good in both teams, but I just don't. Jorginho is not as good as Messi. It's not as good as Messi. End of. Like,
Water
there's
is
no way.
wet.
That's what I mean, though. It's so like, whereas Louis, if you're saying is he as good a footballer as Messi, you go, well, no. But look at what he's achieved. Look how many goals he has to score to even be in that conversation. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how many goals Lewandowski has to score to be in the conversation with Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo, I actually think, is kind of not really in the top three conversation, if only because Juventus didn't win out and his time there wasn't really stellar. He scored loads of goals, to be fair. And obviously he's come to United, and whilst he personally has done okay, the club has been so poor that I think it overshadows that. So I think he'll be kind of done a bit by perception. Messi's not played well at PSG, to be fair, but it's not as bad. Because PSG are top and like 11 points clear or something.
Yeah, he only opened his League On account. Was it yesterday?
Maybe. I mean, it takes a while, doesn't it? You know, you can't just drop a player into a team and they automatically, and even if it's Lionel Messi, he struggled at Argentina plenty of times when the team wasn't built around him.
Yeah.
Someone in the office was talking this week saying like Messi would be nothing without Xavi, Iniesta, David Villa, etc. And I was like, well, okay, there are players that it doesn't really matter what team you put them in. They'll still be really high level. You know, Alan Shearer is a great example of that. You can make the same point for, I think, Ronnie. I think you can make that point, although he has always been in good teams. Messi, maybe when he's not got a team built around him to facilitate his style, doesn't every game do it, especially now. But I look at it and I just think what Lionel Messi can do with the ball, nobody else can do with the ball. Nobody. Maybe Maradona. Maybe. Maradona was a bit more stylish, but honestly, just his level is fantastic, and because he's still been really good, and he will kick on with PSG and probably win a Champions League with them. I struggle to look past him, but it should be Louis. It should be Lewandowski, to be honest, because it was bullshit that they didn't have the tournament last year.
I know. Yeah, I felt bad from last year.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, Lewandowski.
I hope, but I imagine it'll be Messi or Jorginho, because why not? Because they love international winners. They love people who win the international tournaments, don't they, as well, in a lot of these competitions.
Yeah.
Clearly not most years, because Messi wins it and like obviously hasn't won one until recently. But just in general, when you look historically over like a 30-year period, that does seem to just boost you a little bit.
Yeah.
When you do really well with your international team. I saw that Kev got nominated, and I just thought we are so far off having a player that is top three. And if you went back 4 years, I'd have said we had one.
Silva or Guerrero?
A Kev.
Oh, Kev.
Kev, 2016, 2017.
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry.
Honestly, and 2017 and 2018, to be fair, but just that period of time, I looked at him and I just thought, if he's not third, he's in the conversation. You know, because Neymar going to PSG to me was a big step down, and it was obviously Messi, Ronaldo at the top, and then your third was like Salah or Kev or probably Louis, to be fair, at that time as well. Maybe Suarez around that time too. Suarez, maybe. But now I look at it and I'm like, okay, we don't have a top three player in the world, but we in their position, maybe we have. I think every player in our starting lineup is top 5 in their position. Maybe not centre backs.
Maybe not based on this season.
I've opened up a real conversation here.
Yeah.
See, I would say based on this season.
Really? I think
João
Diaz hasn't
Cancelo
performed.
Absolutely is there. Oh yeah, no, Diaz hasn't performed.
I was talking about centre backs. Cancelo would definitely be. It'd probably be number 1 right now.
Yeah, number 1 left back.
Can't
Kyle
think of better than
Walker. Kyle Walker's not number one right back because Reece James and Trent are doing absolute bits, but he's so good. He's so good, it's ridiculous. Stones hasn't really had a shout, but last year Diaz and Stones were top 5 in the Prem, not in the world, obviously, because there's a lot of competition there. But then I think Rodri's definitely the best in the league. Best in the world, DM? It's really tough to say.
I think because
tough to say.
Kimmich exists, so
they've been got at so much this season. If you say him right now, I love Kimmich, you know me, but Bayern have been got at a lot.
No, I'm just playing on your heartstrings about name.
I know. I do love Kimmich. That man is amazing. It's tougher, but top five, absolutely. Bernardo Silva, that's harder, but you know, Mahrez is fantastic. Foden, fantastic. Jack Grealish, not yet hit the heights, but you'd expect him to. Like, yeah, I look at the side and I'm just like, someone in that side will maybe step up to start challenging for like Ballon d'Or, because that's the dream. Have you had a Ballon d'Or winner?
Yeah.
You must have. You must have had like a few over your time.
Yeah, Ronaldo won a Ballon d'Or. Right.
Oh, did he after the like 48 goal season, whatever it was?
Yeah.
In all comps, was it 48? Something like that. I don't know.
I think Salah beat it maybe 2 years ago. I'm sure Ronnie was maybe 41, 42.
Okay.
But Salah beat it. I remember Salah beating it and be like, oof. But, you know, scores goals.
Yeah.
He's supposed
Ridiculous amount of goals.
Mm.
Duncan Edwards came third for you in 57.
Best won it in 68, I think.
Dennis Law won it in 64, mate.
Oh no, in
Charles won it
60.
66.
Best
won it
definitely
in
won it.
68.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, you've got a few, mate. I don't see Man City on this list. Were we not doing bits in the 80s? What are we doing in the 80s? Is there a Division 2 Ballon d'Or? Holy shit. Yeah, 88 and 89 are just Milan players. Van Basten, Hullet, Rijkaard, and then Baresi gets in there as well. Jesus, that Milan side. Oh, that Milan side.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
And Baggio. Oh, Cantona third in 93. Shearer third in 96. Fair, because wasn't that, yeah, Euros did well, and then probably had a really good season with Newcastle, I imagine. He's always having good seasons with Newcastle. I think he, yeah. Beckham second in 99. I mean, we could have stopped the episode a long time ago. I think we will, because I'm just listing players for United.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for listening. Nobody. It's been a pleasure. I know. And we'll be back maybe to preview the football ahead of next weekend. If you're not, I will be.
I mean, we'll see how Tuesday goes. But,
see how Tuesday goes. You might be buzzing. You might be like 5-0.
Carrick at the wheel.
Carrick at the wheel, and then we do a podcast Wednesday night. We'll see. But yeah, best of luck. I hope it goes well for you.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to a good game on Wednesday.
I'm sure it'll be
Come on,
an
Poch.
absolute banger. Poch is getting sacked in the morning. Poch getting sacked Thursday morning, and then rocking up at United Friday morning, and then managing the game against Chelsea Sunday. Are you playing Sunday? I think you play Sunday.
Yeah, you'd imagine so.
Yeah.
Super Sunday.
Yeah, there's loads of games on Sunday. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. See y'all next time.
See ya.